Hi, it's Kathy from Bishopstone Yarns. Well, here we are at episode 8. I've been trying really hard to find a spot to sit here where I won't get any glare on my glasses, but I can't seem to find the right spot, so you'll have to just bear with it, I think. Otherwise, I don't think I'll end up getting the podcast recorded. Anyway, as I was saying, I am Kathy from the Bishopstone Yarns podcast. This is a podcast mainly about knitting, a little bit of spinning, weaving, and sometimes some sewing and any other kind of craft that I might be doing at this point in time. Now, you can find me on Facebook as Bishopstone Yarns. You can find me on Instagram as Bishopstone Yarns and on Ravelry as Bishopstone. So I have tried to put most of my knitting projects up on Ravelry, but since I've been knitting for such a long time, it's quite difficult. There's a lot that I haven't put up there, and probably some that I need to add a little bit more information to, but you can always find me there on Ravelry. And now you can find me here on YouTube as Bishopstone Yarns. So if you're a returning viewer, hi, it's great to see you again. Thank you for stopping by and spending some time so we can talk about knitting and spinning and crafting things together. And if you're a new viewer, welcome. It's really nice to see you. It's really nice to share this little bit of time with you. So I'm coming to you from Tasmania, which is the little island at the south of Australia. And you find me here in a corner of my studio. And today it is Friday, March the 25th, I think, and it is a beautiful day here in Tasmania. It's really sunny and it's warm, and and the sun is shining beautifully. And I think we're going to have a couple of really nice warm days, and then it's going to go back. I think it's going to drop down to about 14 degrees Celsius in a few days. So not really looking forward to that, but it's always nice to have a few nice warm days. So I think we probably start with what I'm wearing. So since it's such a lovely warm day today, I thought I'd better wear one of my cardigans. Now this cardigan is not a new one that I've made. I made this in, I think it was in March of 2019. So it's a few years old now. It is the Hitofude cardigan by Hiroko Fukatsu, and the yarn that I used for this is I don't even know if it's still around anymore or not, but it's a sirdar cotton look yarn. So it's don't know how well you can see it, but it's a light pink and has a slightly shiny cotton. Since I knitted this a long time ago, it's kind of a little hard for me to remember, but I do remember it had a very unusual kind of design, construction design to the pattern, and I'm not exactly, I can't really quite remember exactly how it went because it was a while ago that I knitted it, but I do remember it was a really nice knit. I really enjoyed it, and it's perfect for a day like today where I just want to have something on. It's not quite so warm here in my studio. The sun hasn't quite come around here, but yeah, it's nice and light, summery, but keeps me nice and warm as well. So yes, the Hitofude cardigan, and hopefully I will try and add a little bit of me, a little bit of vision of me wearing this. Okay, and then I guess we should just hop right into my one and only finished object, which is here next to me, which is the Magnolia Bloom, which I've been working on for a little bit, and just looking for the front page of it. Where is it? Okay, so the where are we? The Magnolia Bloom by Camilla Vad, which I know a lot of people, a lot of podcasters and a lot of people on Ravelry have made. And I have finally finished mine. It seems to have taken a long time, but I think that's mainly because I think last time I was kind of, I'd done some of the ribbing, so I'd got up to about here and I was working on the sleeves last time when I was talking to you. And why is it taking me so long to finish? Because, well, I finished the sleeves and that was okay. And I actually re-knitted this section, probably about this section here, about 3 times. Because the first time I decided I wanted the body a little bit longer. So I pulled back the ribbing and then made the body a bit longer, then started the ribbing. So I've knitted this in 6mm needles, and then I had gone ahead and done the ribbing in 6mm needles as well. And then I tried it on, and then I didn't like the look of the ribbing, so then I ripped that back again, and then I went back down to 5mm needles and did the ribbing in the 5mm needles, and then I was happy with that. I also had a couple of goes at doing the bind off. I started off, and the same with the sleeves, I started off by doing Jenny's surprisingly stretchy cast off, which I use a lot for socks and sock cuffs, but in this yarn I don't know, it just didn't seem to look very good in this yarn. It seemed to be, this is the yarn is an alpaca, it's alpaca wool and silk. Just grab one of the ones with the label on it, hold on. Yeah, alpaca silk, and it is a singles yarn. So when I did the Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, I found that yeah, I just didn't really like the look of it. It just, I don't know, it just didn't seem to hold together particularly well. It didn't give a very nice looking edge. So then I went back and then I just ended up casting off in a rib kind of cast off. I did that for both the sleeves and for the bottom of the jumper, and then I was really happy with it. So it eventually got finished, but I knew if I didn't rip it back and I was unhappy with it the first and second times that I've done it, I knew that it would annoy me, and then the chances of me wearing it, yeah, I don't know, if I find that if I finish something and I'm not happy with it, I tend to put it at the back of the cupboard, and then I don't really wear it very much. And I wanted to really wear this one because it's such a beautiful soft yarn, and I really like the pattern. I'm really impressed with how it looks, and how it feels, and I'm quite looking forward to wearing it. And I think it's going to be one of those jumpers that I'll probably just one of those go-to jumpers that will grab and put on and wear quite a bit. So I'll probably end up then knitting another one in a different yarn, different colorway, but that'll be further down the track, I'm sure. Now, I know when I first started this, I was talking about this lacy pattern up here, and I was saying I don't usually like a bit of open lace. I mean, I love a lacy top, I love lacy cardigans, but I always like to wear something underneath them. I'm not really one who likes to have a big bit of lace up here, but actually I really like the look of this, and I think it's actually going to be really good and really good fun to wear different colors underneath to show off the design, and just add a little bit of extra color. So depending on what I'm wearing, I can change the color of t-shirt or the top that I'm wearing underneath. It'll change the look of the jumper. So that's another thing I'm quite looking forward to. Yeah, but all in all, I am really happy with my Magnolia Bloom. Yes. And that is my one and only finished item for this time. As you can see, I love knitting. I spend a lot of time knitting and a lot of time making all sorts of things, but I don't feel the need to just race through things to have 1,000,001 things finished off just for the sake of finishing them off. Like I was talking about with the bottom of this one, I like to finish something off and then know that I'm going to be happy with it and that I'm going to enjoy wearing it. I think I'm someone who just enjoys having something to do, something to make. And in the past, I know that when I've just been making something for the sake of making it and wanting to get it finished and then ending up not being happy with it, I don't use it. And then I kind of think, what's the point of having something that we've just rushed through and made, not being happy with if we haven't taken the time to really finish it off nicely, or to finish it off in a way that we know, or finishing it off to the kind of point where we know that we're going to wear it. Then to me it's like, I don't know, we've made it just to put it in the cupboard, whereas I want to make my things so I can wear them and enjoy them. And then, like with this one, if I end up wearing this quite a lot and it gets a bit old and a little bit sad looking, then I'm really happy to go ahead and knit another one and have another one in my wardrobe. But as long as I wear them, I'm happy. So I guess I'm trying to say that I'm not going to be having, I guess, lots and lots of finished projects just for the sake of having a finished project to show you all. So I hope you can bear with that. But the next thing I've moved on to is I have started making my Ranunculus, which is also another really popular top that I know lots and lots of people have made. And so the Ranunculus is by Knit Cafe Midori. And I was telling everyone last time, the 2 yarns I've decided to use for this one. These 2 were on my weaving pile on my shelves for weaving. The white one is a kind of a fingering mohair with no label, so I have no idea where it came from or who made it. And then I have this kind of bluey, tweedy, aqua wool, which is from J.L. McGregor. Now this cone, I've had a number of these cones, and I have used quite a bit of this yarn in weaving projects, and I've always liked it. I think it's a really nice yarn, and when it washes up really nicely in terms of it. As a weaving yarn, it's quite tightly spun, but once you wash it, and it softens and loosens and it blooms a little bit as well. So I'm looking forward to this, seeing when the jumper is finished, washing the jumper, and then seeing this yarn come to life as well. So I have started on the yoke, and where are we? So we have, this is the back. So I've done the cast on, tubular cast on, and the short rows for the back, and then I've come along and then done the short rows for the front of the neck, and then I've just, if you can see here, I have just started the pattern. So far it's looking really good. I'm feeling really happy with it. And the one thing that kind of struck me when I was started knitting it, I thought, oh my gosh, for those people who've seen some of my previous podcasts, you'll know that I had just knitted a cardigan out of cotton, the Hey Teach cardigan, and I was saying how usually that colour is not really my colour. It's not colour that I wear a lot of. It's a aqua colour, and usually I'll wear something a bit brighter. And lo and behold, I was looking down at this and I thought, oh, it's a very similar colour to the Hey Teach cardigan. But I'm thinking I really like it. I like the look of it. I like the effect of it. The white mohair does tone down the aqua a little bit, which is okay. I mean, I could have dyed the mohair to add another colour in there, but at the moment I'm quite happy with it. And I think this is going to be one of those jumpers as well that you can add some colour underneath. So it's not going to be just a really light coloured top with no colour, no bright colour anywhere. I think it could even look quite nice if I was to put like a pink, hot pink kind of t-shirt underneath, or long sleeve t-shirt, something like that. Yeah, but so far so good. I'm enjoying it, and even better, I was right on gauge, which doesn't happen that often for me when I start to knit something. I'm not usually kind of like straight away on gauge, but I was with this. So I'm be excited to see how this continues forward. So that was the Ranunculus, which I'm sure heaps of you who are watching have knitted as well. I'd really love to hear what yarn other people have used actually to do their Ranunculus, because I've got a funny feeling this is another one as well that I'll probably end up doing a number of different ones in. I know a lot of people have knitted their Ranunculuses in lightweight yarn, and also some in thicker, kind of more wintry type yarn. So yeah, it might be interesting to have a look at, to see what everyone else has used for their Ranunculus and which ones they prefer, whether they prefer the light, kind of more summery kind of feel of the Ranunculus, or if they like the kind of thicker yarn, which would make it a slightly, well, not heavier, but a slightly denser fabric. And yeah, so that's how far I've got at the moment. And what else have I been working on? Well, I have started some more knitting, which I have here. If I can just get to it. I have lots and lots of smaller balls of leftover handspun, and I was just looking at a bag that I had full of some the other day, and I came across this one here, which is some of my earlier handspun, and I think I dyed this with, I think this was sulpher. I'd have to go back and check, but I think it might have been sulpher of the landscape dyes. And I thought, oh, Easter, this screams out some sort of an Easter knitting project. So I went through my patterns and I found a handwritten pattern for a chicken. And this is what I've done so far. So I've finished the pattern. If you can see, this is going to be the tail, and this is going to be the head up here, and the bottom is left open so you can hide a little Easter egg in there. And so I'm hoping, hopefully it's going to transform quite a bit when I sew it all together. The tail looks fine. I'm not quite sure about this head. I mean, I have to put a beak on it out here and a comb, but I'm thinking maybe I might need to do a little bit of, maybe when I sew it up, I'll have to do a little bit of tweaking to see if I can make it look a little bit more chook-like. But maybe just adding the beak and the eyes to it might make it look more like a chook or a chicken. For those who are not in Australia, a chook is what we call a chicken. But yeah, I thought I'll make a few of those and add to my Easter display. And the yarn is the perfect yarn for it. It's I think I had used this yarn, dyed up some this yellow to go into, I had made a really big blanket, traveling blanket out of handspun, where each kind of like section was a different color and a different stitch kind of design, because usually yellow is not my color. It's not usually something I knit with, not usually something that I dye a lot of. I mean, but this is a beautiful yellow. It is a lovely yellow and perfect for chickens. So we'll wait and see how this one turns out. And then I'll have to go and look for some, maybe some red felt or something to put on for the little beak, and see how that goes. Yeah, so I'm just thinking that's probably it at the moment for my knitting. I've just recently had a birthday, and my birthday coincided with a shop hop that was happening down here in Hobart, which is the capital of Tasmania. And the shop hop comprised of, it's going along to 6 different quilting shops and quilting and embroidery and sewing shops, and spending, I think it was $15 at every shop, and going into the draw for a big prize of fabrics at the end. Usually I don't do things like shop hops and those kind of things, but I thought, well, since it was my birthday and I had some birthday money, I thought I would treat myself by going along and joining the shop hop, which I must admit was quite good fun. it was good fun going along to the shops. 5 of the shops were very close to the city, so all around the city, and one of them was about, I guess, about an hour's drive to the north of the city in a little suburb called New Norfolk. And yeah, so the shops, for anyone who's interested in knowing, the shops that were involved were the 1/4 inch, Frangipani Fabrics, A Stitch in Time, Threads, Easy Sew, and the Quilted Teapot. So I had lots of fun going around to all those shops, having a look and seeing what each shop had to offer, and choosing something to buy. And so I've got some of the things that I bought here. So I'm just trying to think, can I do this in order? Maybe not. Maybe I'll just show you the different bits and pieces that I bought. And so I think that, we can start off here with the first shop that I went to, which was 1/4 inch. I bought, so this is a Hugs and Kisses design. Hugs and Kisses is a designer from Tasmania, from Hobart, and I have made one of her kind of double bed quilts in the past. It was quilting, and quite each patch had a lot of applique on it, which I quite enjoy hand sewing and applique. So yeah, so here's a bag bag pattern, and it came there with the fabrics, which is always good fun because you've got all the fabric there. I don't have to go out and buy it. And I also bought this one, which is also Hugs and Kisses, which is using the little hexagons. And this one also comes with the patterns, the material and the zipper. And yes, you can probably guess there is a bit of a colour design going on there with pinks and yes. Then I went on to Frangipani Fabrics, and I had got some Christmas materials with a lovely red there as well, because towards the end of the year I'm hoping to make a Christmas table runner, some sort of a Christmassy table runner to put out on the table when I display things. And I also, Frangipani Fabrics, they gave me this gorgeous little, whoops, where are we? Gorgeous little bag with this lovely fabric on here, and also had a couple of little fibre clubs, fabric kind of clubs, sorry, which could be quite tempting, but I'm not sure that I'd need more fabric. I don't have a huge stash of fabric, but I have enough. I've got enough that have been left over from a couple of previous quilts I've done, so I'd really like to use those up, plus the material that I bought on the shop hop. So yeah, I think I'd like to maybe use those up before I go out and start buying other stuff. So I did buy also from Frangipani Fabrics these. So for those people who may have seen or may not have seen the previous podcast, I am in the process of making the Farmer's Wife Sampler Quilt, which has got, I think, 111 different blocks. And so I kind of thought these fabrics here would probably fit in with the fabrics that I'm using for that. And since I've got 111 designs to go with. And then, of course, I'm not quite sure now whether these ones, I think these ones came from, pretty sure these ones came from Frangipani fabrics as well. So these ones, of course, are not going to fit into that colour range for the Farmer's Wife quilt sampler. But these are just gorgeous. They're just such beautiful bright colours that, oh, I was about to say, the camera doesn't really pick up, but they are quite bright and cheerful, and I really, really like them. So then I went on to, where did we go to? Easy. No, we went to Stitch in Time, and I got this pattern here, and still have to get some lovely coloured linen to make that with. And then went on to threads, and ended up getting, where are we? It's a little bit hard to show, isn't it? A range of little offcuts. Now, some of those are going to look really nice in the quilt that I'm making at the moment, and others I'll put away for something else. So it's a whole range of different fabrics there. And then I went on to Easy Sew, which is a sewing shop, where I needed to get a couple of blades, replacement blades, for my rotary cutter. So that was really good. And then I went on to the Quilted Teapot. And I just had to race out and grab the stuff that I forgot to bring in that I had bought from the Quilted Teapot. So that is the one that we had to went to the little town of New Norfolk, and which is always a lovely little drive. It's a lovely town with some gorgeous older houses in it, and older buildings. And so these were the fabrics that I ended up getting from the Quilted Teapot. And the Quilted Teapot also has a absolutely fantastic cafe. So of course we took our dog with us, and we sat outside, and we had we had some morning tea. Then we went for a lovely walk around the town of New Norfolk, and did a little loop, and then came back and had some afternoon tea. I didn't buy any more fabric though. This was only, I just did one lot of buy of the fabric, but 2 lots of stopping for coffee and cake. So that was the end of the shop hop. I had lots of fun. It was really enjoyable. Like I was saying, it's not something that I do very often, but because it was my birthday, I had some birthday money, I thought I would treat myself. And then the last thing that I've been doing is I have been making some more blocks in the Farmer's Wife Sampler quilt. And It's probably why I don't get as much knitting done as probably if I wasn't doing all this sewing and shop hopping. But I'll show you the next lot. And what I'll do is actually, once I've got quite a few blocks done, I might do a podcast just going through the different blocks and their names and talking about the blocks maybe a little bit. But at the moment, I'll just show you. I'll just go through them. So, this is a bit, maybe I should hold it up over this side. So, that's one. And number 2. And another one. And oops, this one, which was I used 4 colors, and they actually asked, they called for like just a random block, but I must admit I found it very difficult having just a random selection. The random selection to me just didn't seem to work. I just didn't like the layout of it, so I did actually put a little bit of thought into where I was going to lay all these blocks together to have some sort of a pattern in it. So yes, so I will move these over here with all my other quilting and sewing stuff. And as I was saying before on the previous podcast, I'm not a sewer. I'm not particularly good at quilting. I enjoy sewing. I love hand sewing. I love applique. And so doing this quilt is really good for me because it starts off with the easier blocks and you work your way up. And so hopefully I'm going to learn a lot, get some more skills, and work my way through to the other end. I am doing the quilt with my local quilting group. So I'm not alone. I'm not stuck out there by myself. I've got lots of lovely experienced ladies to ask for help when I get stuck. And plus it's always fun watching everyone else and having a look to see how everyone else is putting their blocks together and the different colours they're using for their blocks as well. So I guess that's the last of the things that I have been making and buying, except for one more thing. Now, this is something that I've been wanting for quite a long time. As a spinner, I have always wanted to have a bit of a control card. And so I finally ordered, maybe over this side, might be easier. This is from Katrinkles. And what it does is, see that if you can see all those little lines there, when you spin something, I'm just trying to, I don't know if this will work, I can drag this over here, and so trying to work out what gauge your spinning is. So you can just lay it against those lines there and it will show you kind of what kind of ply your yarn is. And then you've got of course an inch here, so you can do your wraps, wrap your yarn around and find out your wraps per inch as well. Now I had been looking at buying those in all different places. Being in Tasmania, the little island at the bottom south of Australia, I found that if I ordered it from America, it's going to cost me $30 in postage, and that was a bit expensive. But I was lucky enough to find Louie and Lola, who I've been following on Instagram for quite a while. They are actually in Tasmania, in the north of Tasmania, and they are hand dyers who have the most gorgeous little dash hounds. And I noticed that she had the yarn gauges for sale, and she was able to post that down to me, along with, of course, some absolutely, can I do this without, can I, some beautiful tea, and especially the French Earl Grey. I love Earl Grey tea. I'm a huge Earl Grey tea person, and peppermint tea is always really nice as well. So thank you very much to Karina from Louie and Lola. And so I am so happy that I have my little Katrinkle, and I didn't have to pay $30 postage from America for my little yarn gauge. And that's one of the problems I must admit when I go online to look for a lot of things, and especially when I look for yarn. Not that I have really bought yarn very much online, but the postage to Australia from a lot of other countries is really expensive. So unless you actually find a place where you can buy, a certain amount of yarn and they will give you free postage, I'm always put off by if you only want to buy a small amount, buy the large amount of postage, because sometimes you're paying the same amount in postage as you are for the actual item. But maybe I'm just not looking in the right places, or maybe, one of the things I would really like to do, and I've been wanting to do for a couple of years, and I've always kept saying for my birthday I'm going to treat myself and buy myself a kit, kind of like a jumper's worth of yarn to do a pattern that I really like, in either a fair isle or there's a lovely Danish designer that I really like who does the most amazing jumpers and jackets, where she also then embroiders over the top of. So I have kept thinking one day I'm going to buy myself a big huge package, and then the postage isn't so bad because you're buying everything together, the colours, the yarn, the pattern and everything. Yeah, so that might be maybe my next birthday. I can wait another year. I've got a lot of yarn to get through before I think about buying enough for another big huge jumper quantity, I think. Well, I think I've probably talked enough now. I think I've probably shown you everything I've done. I've had lots of fun knitting my Magnolia Bloom and finishing it, starting my Ranunculus. Lots of fun on my shop hop. And for someone who doesn't usually do a lot of buying, because I try not to add to my stash too much, because I do have enough stash as it is, it has been so much fun going out and choosing some fabrics and things that I need. And it's also been heaps of fun chatting to you. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little podcast, and if you've liked it, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because that always helps. It kind of helps me out here in this little world of the YouTubes. And leave me a comment, because I love to hear from people. I love to hear what people are doing. I love to hear what people are making, and also what people think about what I'm making. Any suggestions or any ideas are welcome. And yeah, so feel free, leave a comment, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, bye.